In this video, I am going to reveal to you the number one way that women sabotage relationships. And you want to know this, so watch until the end. So let's get into it. Say you're in a relationship or you've been dating someone for a few months now, like you're over the 3 month mark, you're out of the honeymoon stage, and you're starting to create a life together and really be with each other, and you're exclusive to each other, you're committed to each other, you're devoted to each other's growth. And then something starts to happen. The realness of your woman and yourself starts to come out. And the beauty of this is that romantic relationships often trigger us. They often bring up the things that we cannot see within ourselves because we're used to being with ourselves. We're used to dealing with ourselves. So maybe your woman may not even know that she is self sabotaging this relationship. And the number one reason why women do this is they do it through projecting their trauma, their unresolved issues, maybe from past childhood, maybe from even some situations with men they had recently and way back when. They're projecting those things onto you because they haven't healed them within themselves. And it usually stems from the wounded little girl, the wounded inner child within her. We all still have a childlike playfulness side to us. And often we enter into relationships with this little child within us, not healed, especially if your woman is not aware of this. For example, say you decide you want to go to a bachelor party. Your friend is getting married, all the guys in the wedding party are going, and you're planning this big trip to go together. And it's a really big deal because you've known this guy that's getting married for a long time and you want to show up, you want to be there, you want to have a good time, you want to be involved in all the wedding festivities that the guys are going to do. Before you leave, she goes off on you. She has an attitude. She starts to want to be controlling. She starts to talk about how you're probably going to cheat on her and do all the things that men do when they're out on a bachelor party because she's assuming that you're going to be in debauchery, that your behavior is not going to be in integrity with your relationship. And that couldn't be further from the truth because you're your own man. You can stand your own ground. And that does not mean that you're going to cheat on her. And maybe somebody cheated on her from her past. Maybe her father was out of integrity with her and wasn't emotionally available there for her or physically available there for her. Maybe she's had some other past traumas that you may not even know about from past romantic relationships. This is where you get to state your boundaries. I encourage you to acknowledge this behavior right away and to start to catch it right away and bring it to her awareness. And of course, on the other side of that, there may be an argument, a healthy debate that comes out of it. There may be some tension. You may butt heads, but you got to do this for her because it's for your growth, it's for her growth. And this will help determine if you can even stay in a relationship with her. If this is something you want to continue to support her with throughout this relationship, you got to bring it to her awareness because if you don't and brush it off or storm out and then just leave and go on this trip, it's going to get worse. It's going to fester. It's going to boil over and it will come back again. Know that she is self sabotaging this relationship because maybe she's used to being wounded. Being in a healthy relationship with a healthy masculine man is something that is really foreign to her. It feels uncomfortable in her nervous system if you are like securely attached, you are really supporting her, if you're good to her, if you are loving to her, if you are that provider and that grounded masculine energy that she's never had before. She is refusing to allow herself to receive that. She is maybe assuming that just because men in her past, stemming back from her father or maybe one of her caretakers in her life, she's assuming that you're going to do the same thing. What I encourage you to do is one, if this happens to you and it comes up, take a breath, tell her, state your boundaries. This is coming up for me. And when you talk to me like this, it does not help. I don't appreciate it. My family, my friends don't talk to me like this. and I expect the same respect from you. Remember, women respect men who state their boundaries, who express their truth, who are able to lean into difficult conversations and lean into the tension, regardless of the outcome and the results. You lean into this, this is actually going to foster and forward the growth of your relationship, forward your masculinity and you as a man, and forward her to get maybe some professional help with this situation. But she's got to want to do the work. You cannot be controlled, and come with love, compassion, but some grounded masculine energy to be able to have this conversation with her. And if it doesn't happen this way, it will happen another way where she's trying to control. She wants to control you and control her environment because that's allowing her to feel safe. That's allowing her wounded little girl to be soothed somehow. But it's opposite. Remember, she is in an unfamiliar state and she does not know what to do in this healthy relationship. So she's working through this along with you. Number two, always be honest, be truthful. See if you can stay in your grounded masculine energy so that you can hold space for her to get emotional, to go off. Express this to her that it's not acceptable and you will not tolerate being controlled, being yelled at, having her project her stuff onto you. Be willing to have this difficult conversation with her because you love her. Most of all, because you love you. And that's why you're stating this boundary and making sure you own your masculinity. Express to her that you deserve respect. Hopefully, she can calm down. You two can talk about it, and then you can go about your day. Or if she blows up and acts out even more, maybe even tries to hit you or strike you, then that's a different situation. And that's something that gets to be addressed as well. But it first starts with you being willing to step and own your masculine strength, own your masculinity, and you don't have to yell. You can be stern and be direct and be clear with effective communication and still be loving without yelling, without going off, without mirroring back her controlling and unresolved issues that are being expressed to you right now in this moment. And I know it may be tough, but you can do it. This is the great thing about when men step into their healthy masculine. They can create a solution and fix the problem coming from a stern place that doesn't require you getting really angry, upset, anything like that. I encourage you to do this, to exercise this, because it's going to fuel your relationship and the trajectory of where your relationship can go, especially in times of tension and times of upset. Let her know that maybe you two can take a little bit of space if you can't soothe it right in that moment. Maybe it's time to just let her take a little bit of space, let her take care of herself, let her take some breaths, calm down. She can go do something nice for her or go be with her girlfriends. And then you two can schedule a time and a day to come back to this conversation a bit more calm. And you two can have an honest talk with each other. And if this is a real life situation that has happened with the example that I'm giving you, soothe her, go on the trip, take some space, have fun, come back, and like I said, reconnect with her and talk to her about ways that she can express herself in a more loving and a more feminine way. The reason why she's doing this because something is triggering her in her body that is telling her she doesn't feel safe. So she's reacting to that so that she can feel safe. The drama is familiar to her. The drama is something that maybe she experienced in her past and she's used to the drama. She's used to the trauma and she's trying to shake things up and self-sabotage so that she can get back to a familiar place. But if you express to her that that's not the healthiest way to go about things when you all are in tough situations in your relationship, then maybe it can calm her nervous system. She can come back into her right mind, come back into her heart and her breath and her body, and then approach this from a feminine energy, a softer energy, a more warm and nurturing energy, even if she's upset with you. she can express that and not just throw all her stuff on you. I hope that makes sense. I hope that you enjoyed this and maybe it will create some moments of inspiration or some actionable steps where you can go into this experience with her and be a fireman and put out the fire lovingly with a little bit of empathy, with emotional intelligence, definitely with clear communication. And your grounded masculine presence has an opportunity to ground her back into her right mind, her body, her breath, and you all can take it from there. Now, I will say if she is really not well and consistently doing this and it's coming up again and again and again, then you got to make a decision whether or not this is a woman that you're meant to be with. Sometimes in these situations with people who haven't healed or worked through a process with a professional and they self-sabotage in relationships, maybe it's best to split ways and go about your own way so that she can focus on her own mental health, physical, emotional well-being. If you like the video, drop your comments below, maybe subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao.